What's up, everybody? I'm back on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I have another special guest with me today. I think we're going to have a pretty awesome hour and a half long chat. I've been excited for it for a while. This is a project that has been, putting in a lot of work and very forward facing in terms of their socials, but also putting in a lot of great dev work in terms of giving the Pulsechain community something like really, really important. It's the Internet Money people. If you guys don't know, I got KG in the background. I'm about to bring him up. But we've heard a lot of rumors about, hey, maybe Richard Hart might do a wallet, or all the the bad things about MetaMask and why it's not really an ideal thing to use, because of I'm sure KG will be able to explain all that better than myself. But we don't have to wait for Richard Hart to do that stuff. He can do the stuff that he wants, because we have an awesome team that has given us an awesome product that you can use today, and that is the Internet Money Wallet with your man KG. What's up, buddy?
What an intro. Thank you, brother. Appreciate all the kind words.
Man. Of course, man. Like I was telling you in the green room, obviously, like, I've known about you guys for a while. You put out your stuff even before Pulsechain came out on BSC. And but you've been like very vocal about you're a Pulsechain native service, a Pulsechain native protocol. And you've been marketing to the Pulsechain community for the longest time, like the whole 2 weeks turning into 2 years timeline for Pulsechain. And so you've been around that long. So I followed you guys for the longest time, and I'm just so happy that I'm able to get you on to chat about your stuff, because I want to learn a little bit more. I know my audience can benefit from it. And, I know you have a lot more interest outside of just, the DeFi crypto protocol wallet stuff. So I think it's going to be a fun conversation, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on. I've been watching your content for a long time, and I appreciate your perspective on things. It's awesome how you carry yourself. I appreciate you giving us a voice. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. And I'm excited to have this conversation. And you hit the nail on the head. We have been in the Pulsechain community since Pulsechain was just an idea, since even before the sacrifice. So we have watched this community grow into what it is today. And we're very honored to actually be a part of making it what it is. So yeah, it's great to build products for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great, man. And I was watching I think probably the stream you did most recently with Corey, Geary, and Dane. Back like when like the SEC stuff was going on. And I want to echo something that they said during that stream. And that is like, right now, Pulsechain is being made or being carried by the builders and the developers and the people who are pushing out products. Obviously, Richard isn't very vocal right now. He's kind of created the infrastructure. But the thing that's making it viable, the thing that's not making it a ghost chain, are people like you and your team who are creating things for us to use that are, more in line with decentralized ethos, as well as providing actual utility and services to us versus just copy pasting something else and just like putting a Pulsechain banner on it. Like, and I'm sure we'll get into the specifics in a bit, but like, the Internet Money Wallet, at least from me using it, is a very, very huge upgrade just in terms of user experience than like MetaMask, which is probably like the lowest bar to to reach,
Sure. That is, appreciate you saying that. MetaMask, we'll give credit where credit is due. We're here today because of MetaMask, but MetaMask has lost their way in some ways. They're not the most. Hey, what's up, Irion's? Good to see you. Shout out. He runs an awesome group called the Ninja Lounge. Great guy right there.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out, Irion.
So one thing that MetaMask has fallen short on is the user experience. We all say,
Mm-hmm.
once you're in and you know everything, it's like, okay, you kind of get what's going on, you learn your way around. But for
Yep.
newer people or people who aren't as in depth or experienced, it is a more clunky user interface. So everything we do, we have serious, long discussions about, and we test it out, like, to our private groups. What do you think about this? Is this a good experience? Also, MetaMask is owned by Consensus, which is owned by JP Morgan Chase. So they sold out to the big centralized guys we're all trying to get away from. And we
Yep.
have actively seen they will restrict their services for things they don't believe in. Namely, we saw it with Hex. And I don't know, maybe they've done it to other people. I don't pay that much attention to every single asset they blacklist, but we saw it with Hex because we care about Hex. And so it goes to show that MetaMask, who they're really playing for, what their philosophy is. And even to the degree where MetaMask's in-app swap, it's not even verified on chain. So we can't
Mm-hmm.
even see what the code is. And that's the whole thing that we believe in, is verified on-chain immutability as much as possible, right? There's instances where admin keys make sense, but for
Mm-hmm.
all intents and purposes, those things. So MetaMask is becoming everything it was created to not be, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think we're seeing that kind of pattern with a lot of the original DeFi protocols that really launched DeFi into the space. And the one I'm thinking about right now is even Uniswap,
Yeah.
delisting Hex for a bit, but also
Yeah.
just kind of moving into, like, it's not just like a group of smart contracts that anybody can run. It is like, no matter whether they support your thing on their front end or not, you can always go on the block explorer and interact and create a liquidity pool and do the trading. But like, they are like their own like little entity, and they are trying to control things through like,
Yep.
their own internal governance bureaucratic structure. And like you said, props to MetaMask, and like obviously props to Uniswap for giving us the tech that we have now, because we wouldn't be here without them. But if we start to notice like the OGs of the space start to go in a way that isn't in line with the original intention, well, we have the tech now to be able to build it out ourselves. And that's kind of like, that's also in of itself the ethos of decentralized finance, where it's like, hey, like, we don't like the way you're going, we're just going to go the way that we want to go
Exactly.
with the principles that we want. And presumably people will follow the things that are more in line with those foundational first principles of DeFi and crypto. And I think you guys are a prime example, or really exemplify that concept with what you're building with Internet Money.
Yes, I agree with what you said completely. Is that's one of the most beautiful things about crypto is
Yep.
it is financial freedom, and not just in the sense that, oh, hey, number go up, right? There is financial freedom in that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's financial freedom even from what you just said. I don't agree with that system. Not only do I not have to engage with it, A, there are more options. B, if my philosophy of money doesn't exist, I can create it
Mm-hmm.
in crypto.
Yep.
So that is why crypto is one of the most beautiful things that human beings have ever created. It is freedom.
Yep. I agree, man. And it's, I mean, it's part of the reason why I'm in this space. And I assume it's probably a big reason why you're in it. I mean, also in that stream I was listening to with you, Corey and Dane, you're saying you had a full-time like real estate gig for a while. Like that was your career. And now I think, this is probably taking a lot more of your time day to day than real estate is right now, I assume.
Yes. So I still am actually a licensed realtor in my state,
Mm-hmm.
and I've run my real estate business for going on 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really do real estate anymore because crypto has become profitable enough for me to be able to focus on crypto full time. I'll still help a family or a friend in real estate, but I have given up, because in real estate, when you stop your lead generation,
Mm-hmm.
you basically put your paychecks on pause for like 6 to 8 months, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't get paid in real estate the next day. It's not like you clock in, work 2 weeks, and get a paycheck. It does not
Yeah.
happen that way.
You got to make sales, baby. You're on commission.
100% commission. 100%. So yeah, so it was a big leap, but I wasn't feeling as fulfilled in real estate, and then crypto just became this ultimate, all-encompassing passion. On the side, those that know me know I study comparative religion and philosophy, and crypto became an expression of that philosophy. And so it started out as a passion, just learning as much as I could. And then we had the opportunity to actively partake. And now that mixed with my crypto investing has been profitable for me. And I'm able to do this for my life now.
No, that's awesome. And it also kind of speaks to one of like the beautiful aspects of crypto, where it's like you get these people who are attracted to this set of code on the internet, and presumably it's done because, well, historically it has been done due to these kind of libertarian decentralized ethoses that are kind of, what's the word I'm like, not juxtaposed, but I'll just say juxtaposed against, or incompatible with like the traditional finance system overall. They get together, form this network effect there, and then financially they're propelled up because other people have come in for that same narrative like you. And other people have come in, and then that has allowed you to have the financial freedom to be able to go back into the system that gave you that freedom in the first place, and to create more value from it for the next iteration of that cycle for other people to get the same thing, right? Like if it wasn't an iterative process in of itself, it wouldn't perpetuate as efficiently as it has, or as effectively as it has.
Well said. That's a great perspective, that we were attracted to the thing. And now that we were attracted to the thing, we continue to build on the thing, which is going to attract other people to the thing.
It's a bit, exactly. It's its own little positive feedback loop in of itself, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know, these are a lot of the reasons why I'm so invested in crypto. I mean, I'm not full time crypto. I'm in dental school at the side. But you know, it's taking up all my other time. You know, everything else, I'm consuming content all the time, and now I'm trying to really pump out a lot more content, because I want to distill what I'm taking in so that other people can see what I'm seeing as well. And it's not necessarily building tech in the same way you are, but I think everybody kind of falls into their own little niche for the whole community to flourish, because you don't just need builders, you need people to talk about the stuff, you need people to marketers, there's a lot of different roles people can fill outside of just actually creating the smart contracts like you guys are doing.
100% agree there too. There's so much cool tech in crypto that nobody uses because nobody knows anything about it. So you have the people that build the thing, and then you have the people that talk about the thing. And and I talk about this all the time too, is regardless of what your skills are, for you, it's that in taking in all that content, distilling it down, and presenting it in a clean, digestible way. Whatever your skill is, you should do that, and crypto can benefit from that. Even if you're the best t-shirt maker in the world, go make the best dang t-shirts for the products you believe in, because okay, look at Hex. It became as successful as it did because of the community of people around it that all have individualized skills and use their skills to spread the word. So you're absolutely right. It's not just builders out there.
Yeah, man. And this is like one of the, you know, maybe not hidden, but what I think is the actual, not use case of Pulsechain, but the actual like biggest positive of it. It isn't like any of the tokenomics or the tech behind like the L1 the consensus layer at the validation level or anything like that. It's actually a new sandbox that the community that was formed around Hex can use to be able to express the principles and the knowledge that they learn through that first 2 to 3 years of Hex's lifespan, and all of the different things that Richard imparted into the community during that time. Because on Ethereum, it really wasn't viable, one, because of the gas fees. I think that's the most obvious. It's very hard to build, very hard to learn by doing transactions if you have to pay a couple bucks per thing that you do, especially if you're deploying smart contracts. But also, you know, the consensus layer on Ethereum, there's a lot of, you know, legitimate arguments on that is compromised, or at the very least, we've seen that the Hex community be gatekept from the greater DeFi community on Ethereum. And so Pulsechain offers that sandbox for us to build out the things that we've been kept out of when we were just on Ethereum.
I have not thought about it that way either. That is another incredible thought, man, because we had all of these people in the community, again, same community we just described. Now they have a place to freely express themselves and build what they want, knowing that when they spend the time and effort to build in this sandbox, you'll have the playground of kids is already ready to play with that castle. And that's
Exactly.
that's a really cool way to think about it too.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's digital real estate, digital market share up for the taking right now, and people like you are capitalizing on it, because my hypothesis is, in the maximally optimistic scenario of Pulsechain succeeding, competing with like Ethereum, Binance in terms of whatever metrics you want to say, the people who are planting their roots now, building out the infrastructure now, they're going to have the monopoly on all of those metrics in the future. And so this is one reason, both selfish reason and a kind of a philanthropic reason, but like, I want more people to know about it. I want to help the people who are building get their stuff out there, but also, it's kind of getting in early, where it's like, hey, well, these are all the different building blocks that are being laid out. Let's get our piece of it right now before, things start to really explode in the future, because it's going to be hard to compete with like Internet Money Wallet. If everybody's using it and another wallet say, hey, maybe they can, let's just even assume maybe they make a better wallet. Well, there's that concept in like entrepreneurship was, if you want people to switch, you got to make something 10x better than what's already there to even get people to do the switch. And so if you already have established yourself as like the premier DeFi wallet on Pulsechain, well, somebody has to create something 10x better than what you have to even have a shot at getting the market share that you've already monopolized by building before Pulsechain, and then pushing out all the cool stuff that you're about to on the Internet Money Wallet now. And I'll say this, I think it's going to be hard to make something 10x better than the Internet Money Wallet. That's quite the feat that they have ahead of them,
I like the way you presented that. There is, Richard actually talked about, I mean, he didn't come up with the concept, but he talked a lot about it, the Lindy effect. And even though, MetaMask, I mean, look, they have that cornered, right? They've been around the longest. They were the first. They're like ingrained into the psyche of crypto. But because they've stepped into the centralized space, because they're gatekeeping people, because they don't really care about the user experience, or seemingly to some users, that has created this vacuum in this void. And so, whereas Internet Money, as in regard to the Pulsechain space, we've been around before it even existed, when it was just an idea. But we're creating a product that is centered around Pulsechain, puts Pulsechain first, conforms itself to those little nuances that Pulsechain needs in a wallet. And then we expand out from there, which when you think about Internet Money Wallet, not you personally, anybody, you can think about it like a MetaMask replacement. Whereas like we are continuing to add features that make the user ask, why would I use MetaMask anymore? And that's better if you're a Pulsechain person, because you have a wallet that cares about, at the center of it, the chain that you care about most. But also, as we start to seep in to that crypto psyche, when people hear Internet Money Wallet for Binance and Ethereum and Polygon and whatever, when they download it, they are inevitably introduced to Pulsechain. They can't avoid Pulsechain at that point. So as we continue to seep into the crypto psyche, Pulsechain comes with us, which I think is another powerful thing that any other wallet coming into Pulsechain is going to really have to, compete with. And to a degree, I feel like, look, we are going to have competition, whether it's Richard's wallet, if that ever comes, or whether it's someone else's wallet. There's going to be other people that play into the wallet space. But as long as we stay true to DeFi, Hex, and Pulsechain principles, and we continue to put Pulsechain on the map and continue to make MetaMask more and more relevant, I think that we're always going to have a place. We're always going to have relevancy. And we're always going to grow.
100%. Well, I think you guys are even also poised to do really well as Pulsechain grows, because, when you download the wallet, you have these things like, hey, are you a new user? Or are you an advanced user? And then when you do the new user, it's like this whole little kind of like, I guess, presentation or like walkthrough of like DeFi 101, crypto 101, to like make sure that you're doing it safely, know exactly what everything is when you're when you're setting up your wallet infrastructure, stuff like that. And so, for new people coming in, that's a really valuable thing, versus MetaMask with their one little video that they have on password security that's like a minute long, And so I think as Pulsechain grows, and I've even seen this, people talking like, yeah, I don't even bring people on MetaMask anymore. I just straight to Internet Money Wallet, and you have all that stuff
Nice.
built in. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I think even me, I would also do that for new onboards as well. I haven't onboarded somebody in a little bit of time, but just because I think the user experience is better, the baseline education is right there at their fingertips, which is really good. I think there's some tension when you have like say someone like me. So I have a bunch of my more valuable wallets that I'm more security conscious on like a separate computer, Trezors, all of that stuff. I've set this whole infrastructure up, and then now if I want to switch all of those stuff over to Internet Money, I have to pull it out. I have to get all my seed phrases. I have to start typing everything, and that's a little cumbersome and takes some time. And so there's a little upfront effort on that. But for the new people coming in, like it's just like such a seamless and easier transition to getting them up and going, which I think is probably where a lot of the benefit of onboarding with Internet Money is.
Well, let me say this too. We do have Ledger and Trezor support on our Chrome extension. Mm-hmm. So if you have a Trezor, you could even, mm-hmm. a lot of people don't know this. I'm not saying you do or don't, just for those listening. It's not, hey, I can only use one wallet at a time. You could have, you could use MetaMask, Internet Money with the same Trezor. So if you're out there and you want to try the Internet Money wallet and you don't want to import your seed phrase, just connect your hardware wallet and you get the same security that you get with MetaMask there.
100%. Yeah. I guess I didn't mention that with the Trezor stuff, but if you have like hot wallets in like a separate laptop, then that's the situation where you would have to port over your seed phrase to the new wallet. Yeah,
exactly. Which there are, people, I can completely understand why people would be hesitant about doing something like that. And, we hear that all the time. And as time goes on, we're about to undergo our second round of security audits. The first round is already up on our website, internetmoney.io/audits. And shortly after we get that second audit, release the V1, then we're going to transition into going open source. So there's people that think, okay, well, if 2 audits are 2 years of being out there and being public and being doxxed isn't enough, hey, that's okay. We're continuing to take steps also to overcome the security objections as well.
Yeah. No, which is great. I mean, for me personally, I've updated all of like the crypto that I have like at the tip of my fingers, like on my main computer and stuff like that, where I don't hold a lot of money on it. Like I've already upgraded that stuff to Internet Money because the user experience is so much better. Yeah, man. And it's just for me at this point, it's just I try not to touch that like really sequestered crypto stuff as much. Part of it's just laziness. Like I just don't want to bring out the computer. Like the whole shiny. The newness and the shininess of clicking all the buttons and going through different things is kind of worn off. I don't really want to touch things as much outside of the things that like, if I'm opening up a long or short position on Famous, or I'm doing some LP farming, that I'm like harvesting yield fairly quickly. But like the long stuff, like the hex stakes, the hedron stakes, even the long-term LP stuff, that's just a way working for me. And at some point I'll have to do it, but I'll just have to, actually set some time, because you know this, man, like it takes time to get things set up in crypto. Like if you're doing proper security practices and you're like trying to set up a whole infrastructure, it takes some legitimate time.
It does. And you actually have to think a few steps out. Like, okay, if I'm connected, well, what internet am I connected to? What device am I using? So I hear you on that. And that's actually really good advice in general, is people will say, one thing we've heard a lot in this community is never do crypto on your phone, which I actually don't fully ascribe to that belief.
Same.
I think that there's like this 2-part system where I have crypto just like you described. It's almost overwhelming to think about accessing. It takes so long. It's such a cumbersome process. But I know that, hey, maybe I'll touch that crypto once every 5 years anyway, so it doesn't matter. Whereas sometimes there's a position on, one of these dApps, or even just a token I want to get in and out of. Or, hey, if you're ever out there and you actually meet somebody who's willing to transact for crypto, you can't have it on your 3-hour-long vault access. It's like, hey, what's your wallet address? And so I have like my cash, or like if I was going out with my friends, I'm not going to have my life savings in cash in my wallet. So
brother, you don't carry just wads of what? Would you just carry bands around in your pocket?
I don't actually. Not if I don't want to lose it. So that's how I see my phone crypto is.
Yeah.
It is a little less secure, even though we are taking a lot of steps to make it more secure. There's nothing that's going to beat the hardware wallet and multi-sig and all these other, aspects you can take. But man, if you're out of your family and that token you're in pumps 20%, I mean, sometimes you just got to get out.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Well, all of these, like I don't see security as like a binary thing where it's like it's either good or bad. It's varying degrees of risk that you're willing to take with varying proportions of your entire portfolio. Yep. Right. So it's like, yeah, maybe I'm okay carrying $500 of Pulsechain in my phone wallet because I want to do some quick swing trades on a short timeline and I just need to have access to it all day. Or, it's at my computer. Maybe you have like, let's just say you have a 6-figure portfolio and you have like $1,000 or $2,000 that you're doing leverage trading with or yield farming with, and you want to do it quickly. Well, like, yeah. And you're okay with like the decreased security risk for the increase of access.
Exactly.
Right? It's a spectrum. And that's like the important part of knowing holistically about like crypto security so that you can make those informed decisions and set things up where it's most appropriate to your situation.
Exactly. It is a spectrum. Security is a spectrum. And the more secure you get, you give up efficiency and convenience.
Yeah.
It's because it's like people say, "Oh, I have a hardware wallet. I'm as secure as I can." No, you're not. You should have three hardware wallets on a multi-sig spread to different corners of the globe, and then each one should have a 24/7, 365 armed guard with an M16 in front of it. I mean, it's like, how crazy do you want to get?
You're not hiring an entire militia to protect each of your multi-sig hardware wallets, you're gonna get hacked. Okay,
exactly. You're gonna get rich.
Internet money can't help you. I can't help you. You're screwed.
Exactly. You call your local militia. That's the spectrum. Is you never get as secure as humanly possible. You get to where your threshold is. Yeah, like you said.
But the beautiful thing I like, and I know we're talking a lot about this. We're going to get to the specifics of internet money. Don't worry. But the beautiful thing about all of this stuff is that that's like a one-way thing where it's like to move the crypto from that stuff. If I want to throw things in the vault, well, that's super easy. I just need a public address, which I think is awesome. So it's like you make a killer trade on your $500. You get a cool 10x to $5,000. Well, hey, let me chuck 3,000 of that in profit into my main vault. It's like having a like vault underground, inside concrete. With your militia standing over it, but you can put things into it whenever you want seamlessly, which is pretty great.
Yes, exactly. It's like there's like an access lid and you can like send a tube down or something. You're right. That's the thing is the setup of the vault wallet and the vault account, if you will, and the access of it can be cumbersome. But once it's there, you're right, man. Hey, I 10x'd. I'm going to take 9x of that, goes in the vault. Now I'm still messing around over here. That's yes, exactly. That's why you got to have that dichotomy.
Yeah, exactly, man. And it's another beautiful part about having finances on crypto. You get all of the security with a lot of the convenience also on top of it, even with maximum security. But yeah, man. All right. I think that was a really good 30 minutes on security and all the benefits of that, man. I wasn't even anticipating that kind of conversation.
Security is important.
Yeah. Who better to talk with it than a wallet guy? But yeah, man, how about give us a little like just a really quick overview of the Internet Money wallet, the tokens, kind of what they do, and then we'll start digging into the specifics from there.
Sure.
I'm sure most people here know all of that stuff for the most part.
Sure. Well, we'll start at the top. So
yeah,
we are so at the core of our ecosystem is the Internet Money wallet, which, like I said earlier, you can think about it as a MetaMask replacement wallet that is native to Pulsechain. So everything you can do on MetaMask, you can do on Internet Money. You can connect to all your favorite dApps. You can swap in-app. You can, the two things MetaMask has that we don't have yet are an in-app browser and in-app bridging, but you can still connect to dApps and connect to bridges and do all that stuff. It's just not in-app yet. So that is coming in the near-term roadmap. Now, with that, we are a tokenized wallet. We're actually a 3-token ecosystem, but for the purpose of the high level, I'll just stick to the centrifuge, the core token, which is time dividend, or time is the ticker. And so what's so cool about time is not even a marketing statement. It's actually a statement of fact. This is the first token in crypto that exists like this. So in the Internetmoney wallet, like MetaMask and other wallets, there is an in-app swap feature, and we charge a fee to do that in-app swap. Now, couple differences. Difference number one is our fee is less expensive than MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and basically every other major competitor that I can find. Number two, the fee is paid in the form of the native coin. So if you're swapping on Pulsechain, you're going to pay the fee in PLS. Thing number three is 100% of that fee is distributed to the holders of time. And so we call that our dividends. And there is no staking. There's no locking up time. You hold it. It remains liquid 100% of the time. And as those dividends come in, you're able to claim your dividends as frequently as every block, or you can claim it once every 1,000 years. It doesn't matter. So that's what makes it so unique, is that there is no lockup mechanic, and it is liquid, and there's no time mechanic to claiming. So we're actually, for the EIP nerds, we're actually working on getting this adopted for an Ethereum EIP. That's how new and revolutionary it is. So that's the main token. The other tokens, we can dive there, but for the purpose of the overview, with it being centered around Pulsechain, in general, we don't collect any data, zero data collection, which actually, as a dev team, tends to make our job a little harder sometimes, not knowing what's going on in the app, but worth it because, people say, what are you going to do if the government comes knocking at your door and says to give user data? Well, I'm going to comply because we don't collect any data. I have nothing to give them. So we could be in complete compliance.
Just send them a blank TXT file. It's like, here you go. This is what I got.
That's exactly what it would be. So, we are made in America, so to speak. Our whole team is American doxed, which subject to American laws and regulations. And by not collecting data, we actually protect ourselves as a product in a lot of ways. Yep. But, and then there's, a couple other cool features for Pulsechain is, we track the price of all Pulsechain assets. Every single Pulsechain asset has a price in the wallet. We're working on getting logos for everything. So if you have a logo out there and you're in Pulsechain and you want in the wallet, hit us up. And yeah, everything is centered around Pulsechain in that way. We can dive deeper, but that's some of the high level stuff.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I like the time thing is actually pretty cool because it has the properties of a reflection token without the fee coming from actually swapping the token in and out, right? So it's like it gets reflections from the fees that are generated from the in-app swap, but you're not getting gouged entering and exiting the position. So it's kind of taking the marketable part of the reflections without the negative part of it. And that's one of the things that I've liked about time personally, because I think the reflections narrative is pretty popular. A lot of people like it. It's like, hey, I get this money just thrown into my wallet just by holding the token, and with you guys, it's completely liquid, no staking, no locked up, anything like that, which decreases the kind of barrier to entry for a lot of people, or a lot of the things that they would say, well, I don't want to lock my stuff up, or I don't want to get they don't want to make that trade-off of liquidity for income. And so, you guys have kind of hit that narrative well. And, it's coming from an actual service. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a fee generating platform, right? You're making income. It's money that's actually being used in the ecosystem because you're providing a service to the users.
That is the one of the key distinctions there is I like the way you presented it, because it's not a reflection token, right? Reflection tokens are propagated on taxes. There is no tax for time. Time is actually, it's a capped supply of 2 billion. It actually deflates, which we could dive into that if you want, but it only goes down. So it's not, hey, you have to generate the rewards in time, and therefore you have to dump time. It's, you get native coin, you get Pulse, ETH, BNB. Soon we're launching on Polygon. You'll get Matic, and it is a revenue model. So as the revenue picks up, you earn more dividends. So on days of great revenue, we've seen high dividends. On days of oh, nobody swapped today, or very little people swapped today, dividends have been lower. So it's not, and that's another thing, is it's sustainable yield. It's not, we're not promising 30% APY. We're saying, hey, whatever the volume is today, it's 100% of those. It's what it is. Exactly. So that's
no volume. You don't get any money.
Literally,
Yep.
which is actually, we're working on right now a stats page. And one of the stats that we're working on is we're putting the dividends, the representation of the dividends in chart form. So that's one thing we want to see is like, oh, hey, today, excellent. So you'll actually see dips and pumps, but expressed by the dividends rather than the price of the token.
And the people have to themselves go in and claim the rewards that they've gotten, correct? But there's no I guess limits or rules on what you can and can't do. I think you said it's like every block you can do it, and you can wait as long as you want, and it just accrues, correct?
Correct. And the claim was intentional for two reasons. Reason one is there was increased gas costs if we forced the dividends. That was basically like a airdrop to thousands of people every transaction, which wasn't sustainable. But also it has an ancillary benefit of, and look, this is not tax advice, but at least the way I understand my own personal taxes in my own jurisdiction is you don't pay taxes on the dividends until they're realized. And they're not realized until you claim them, because until they hit your account, they're sitting in a smart contract.
Yeah. So you don't actually have possession of them,
exactly.
like from a technical level.
Exactly. Yeah. You do from like, hey, nobody else can claim them from the contract, but they're not actually realized. That's the key.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, something that I thought of something as you were saying that, because I think it's good that you have that barrier for people, both for potential tax purposes, not a tax expert, just going off of what KG's telling me, but also from a gas fee savings perspective. But I'm sure there are people who would probably like to auto compound that along the way. And one thing that might be interesting for you guys to do when Tetra launches and everything's going well is you can probably make an easy Tetra script for people to upload into the wallet so that it auto compounds for you. So now they're the ones responsible for the gas fee because it's still the same infrastructure that you have, but they're able to auto compound it without actually having to claim, sell it into time, and then leave it in the wallet. That could be something interesting for you guys to do. If down the line.
That's a cool idea, right? Because you could have the auto comp where it's like claim dividends, buy time, claim dividends, buy time, and then which would ultimately amplify your dividends until you decide, okay, hey, I'm comfortable in my position.
Yep,
that's a cool idea.
Yeah, man, and that's some marketing for you guys, where it's like, hey, automatic buy pressure of time built into the wallet, right? Like you get to compound it, and then that's all the fees are now. It's almost a buy and bird, but it's just like a native buying from the fees straight into the thing that's paying the dividends in the first place.
You're absolutely right, and because we're here, and we can dive as deep as the wallet, but here we are in tokenomics land. Let's do it. So. Time.
Hey man, you're on my channel. This is where I live. This is
all right. Well, time actually does have a buy and burn. So we launched, there's a smart contract that exists and it's immutable, no admin keys. And what it does is it's a holder of time itself. So anybody can deposit time in there. They can remove it at any time. That's actually, you'll see that's a ethos of ours is we love hex staking. We have that model. But we wanted to create another model that wasn't revolved around staking. So nothing negative there. Just it's the ethos we chose.
It's different.
So
it's different.
So you can put your time in, and 100% of the dividends that are generated by the contract holding that time, it buys time off the open market and burns it. And that's powerful for two reasons. Reason one, well, it's buy pressure. Reason two, three reasons. Reason two is it gets removed from the market, never to enter in a sell pressure again. Reason three is with time specifically, your portion of the dividends are directly related to your portion of the supply. So as the supply diminishes, your position passively increases.
Yeah.
So your 1% could become 2% in a few months,
Yep. No, that's awesome. Wait, so let me see if I understand this. You deposit time into the smart contract, and then it just takes the dividends and buys and burns time, right?
Exactly.
Is the staker getting any compensation for basically forfeiting their dividends?
They are not. So the compensation, it's abstract in the sense that why would somebody do it? Well, what we're seeing most people who actually on the time buy and burn, last time I checked, there was about 20 million time in there, which was 1% of the supply, which was an amalgamation of people. And when we ask people like, why are you doing this? Like what incentivizes you to do? Because we just built it and put it out there, right? And well, they say we're never putting 100% of our bag in there. Actually, one or two people do because they're just bullish on the long term. But they look at it as, okay, I take a position of my bag, a portion of it, put it in there, and I know that, well, A, I could take it out anytime, so it's not lost. But B, it's amplifying the remaining portion of my dividend. So it's not a direct, hey, you're getting, paid to do it, but it is abstract. You are getting paid to do it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a proof of benevolence kind of concept where it's like, hey, like if you just want to benefit the ecosystem and forfeit some of your fees, well, then the bag that you have will over time accrue in value because your percentage of the supply is now going up because things are getting bought and burned off the market, which that makes a lot of sense.
And it's only a temporary benevolence thing, right? Because
as long as you want, there are no terms.
Exactly. You could literally deposit, block goes by, remove. And so, like, we've seen some whales in our ecosystem who have big bags or bigger bags. The supply on Pulsechain is actually really nicely distributed, but we've seen them put, while the dividends are lower right now as we're ramping up, they're putting in larger portions, right? Because they want as much burned as possible. Because from a whale's perspective, I mean, or anybody's perspective, but yeah. So it's benevolent, but it's also selfish.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And I think definitely earlier on when like the protocol launched and the price is lower and you haven't gotten like a big swarm of people coming into it, and probably even when volumes are lower, when the price is lower, the percentage of the supply that's being burned by that feature is higher because you're getting more coins for the same amount of dollar because the price is lower. So like for people who are getting if they're getting like a whale size position or a couple whale size positions or whatever it is, it, like you said, benefits them to go ahead and burn up that market supply so that it makes it even harder for people to compete with them in the future. So then they are basically able to monopolize the dividends, over whatever timeline they're looking at.
That's a good way to look at it too. Is it's like, they can burn if they perceive it that way, burn their competition out of their their position, so to speak. Because that's hey, I want 10% of the wallet revenue. I want to get there, right? Which is it's really cool, and and it incentivizes people to really use it, and that's an important thing because when you're onboarding people and they're swapping, if you're a time holder, you're kind of like getting cash back in a way too, because you're getting paid on your swaps, and when other people are swapping.
Yep, 100%. And I think with that smart contract with time that you already have, and then add on top of that a Tetris script was like, hey, well, if you don't want to give up your fees, but you want it to auto your position relative to the system to just auto compound in itself. Now you have it for, people are like, well, I want my dividends. I want my Pulse. I want my BNB. I don't want to just give it away for now. Well, now you have another way of doing that where it's like, well, hey, like you can just auto compound it back into time. And then now your number of coins are increasing, which automatically means that your your position size of the fees is going up as well. And then like you kind of compare the two where it's like, I could see a whale having a big position in the staking protocol and then also having like their other half with that auto compound. So not only is their position inflating relative to the total supply because it's being burnt, but they're also collecting up coins from the market too to increase it as well. So it's like kind of like double amplifying their monopolization of the fees.
That's a cool thought experiment because I can't wait till gigabrains like you really start fleshing out these ideas, because there could be a point in time, and it could change daily. There could be a point in time where like, hey, if I collect the dividends and buy more time, I actually increase my position more. Or there could be days where swap volume is really good and you would actually increase your position more by putting it in there and then burning it. So, it's that's be interesting. I can't wait to see these stats dashboards.
Yeah, I can't wait either, man. Well, damn, that's got me excited about it. Definitely, for sure. What about the Internetmoney token? What is that one?
So that was the very first token we created. We actually launched that on BSC in November of 2021. And then we airdropped that on Ethereum to BSC holders. And then when Pulsechain launched, we airdropped it to, we split it half and half. They got an airdrop. So really that token itself doesn't really have any tokenomics other than it does have a buy and burn. The same model we just discussed also applies to Internetmoney with time. And that is the token that we are using to get adopted for goods and services. So for
Okay.
now, it's purely speculative, but the aim there, because it is also decentralized. There's no team allocation. There's no developer budget, marketing budget. There's none of that.
Yep.
And there, we even have a video where we burnt the entire team allocation. And actually, we are the biggest liquidity providers for IM on BSC, Ethereum, and Pulsechain. And we burned our liquidity tokens. So we don't even have access to the liquidity anymore. It's completely a decentralized supply. So any tokens that I have, I would have had to buy off the open market. I started with 0 like everybody else. So again, to sum that up, it's speculative, decentralized, peer-to-peer digital cash. Once we start to get adopted for goods and services, if you believe that's going to happen and you believe internet money is going to make it as a payment token, that's why you would buy it.
Gotcha. So you guys are looking to hopefully build partnerships and relationships with other entities that might adopt internet money as a form of payment, or maybe even not you guys actively, but other people who are enthusiasts of the wallet and what you guys are building adopt it themselves.
Exactly. And we're going to do our part. The community can do their part, because we're looking down the line, right? Okay, let's say 5 years from now, I don't know, whatever the time frame is, random number. We as a wallet, inevitably, one field we're going to get into is payments. Like, okay, you have this wallet, but like, I want to buy coffee with it. I want to buy t-shirts with it. Okay. Well, we thought, are people going to use time for that? I mean, they could. People could use their chain link. People could use their pulse. They can use whatever they want. But we thought, man, people aren't going to want to give up the golden goose that is time, that's generating them the dividends. And we knew that, hey, if we had for a payment token this huge centralized supply, like if, we had 80% of it, it wouldn't be money. So we wanted to create what would become the money of the wallet eventually.
And that's a good point, because in a lot of ways you don't want the thing that you're exchanging or the thing that you're transacting with to actually have that much value. You want to keep things that have value. You don't want to give away that things have value. So that transactional, almost in like some ways, is almost good that like the dollar is like absolute shit, because like you just want to get rid of it and get stuff back. Like you don't feel bad about getting rid of it. And so it's like when you have these mechanics on like time, where it's like deflationary, fixed supply, and a dividend paying asset or revenue generating asset, you kind of feel some type of way giving it up for a coffee, because in a couple weeks or something you could get 4 coffees from it, or whatever. Or if you waited and held it, you could get 4 coffees from the dividend rather than the little bit that you spent to get the coffee today. Right. And when you're thinking of a transaction currency, you don't want people making those kind of calculations with it. And that brings me to another idea I just had, and we can connect a couple ideas we've had with like security and like vault wallets and like phone wallets, because like you want to transact with like your phone, you have your internet money on your phone with the wallet on your phone, and you're scanning it at the coffee shop. But what you could do technically is put your time into a big vault, like a very like high security vault, hardware wallet, militia guarding it, all of the jazz we talked about. And then you can have a Tetris script that auto takes some of the dividends that it's getting every single day.
I love
buy internet money, and then send it to your wallet that's in your phone. So you're getting cash just constantly flowed into your pocket based on the dividends being generated from time, which is in a secure vault that isn't being touched, or that is very, very secure.
I love that idea, dude. Because it's like, hey, I know that, where, my crypto connection life, I'm spending about, I don't know, $200 a week in the form of crypto, whatever it is. So you could set that script up to make sure that you're always being refilled. And that's a really cool idea. Stu, we need Tetra, brother. Let's go.
Come on, Stu, buddy. I'm waiting for you. I have so many things I could build when I have your stuff. I love you, Stu. I know you've been a little sick. I hope you're recovering well, man. But like
100%.
Yeah, KG, buddy, bring me on. I'll make all your scripts for you. Don't worry.
Dude, please. Dude, I'll call them the sloth scripts. I don't care. Bring it on, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that's why I like Tetra so much, and not to talk too much about it, but it's like it has a similar kind of all-encompassing utility like you guys do. Oh, 1 second. I'm getting a call. Hold on. I just need to get it because I'm listening to it. 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yep. So while he's gone, airline food. What's up with that stuff? I hope somebody laughed because that's what you always say in an awkward moment. But there
Okay,
I
hey,
am.
I'm
All
really
right.
sorry about that. I couldn't hear you there. You were telling me like, hey, my internet's might cut me out if it does. Can you hear music playing right now?
I can't.
Am I in? Okay.
Nope.
I don't know what is going on. Okay, it's better. I'm sorry. I got Bluetooth headphones connected to multiple devices. Things are just going on. Yeah, we were joking in the background that your internet might cut out, and then I'd just have to kind of fill a little bit for you while you're cut out. And it turns out I'm the one who had to cut out for a second, and you had to carry my stream.
Hey, I see. I put it out into the world, and the
Yep.
universe was like, "Hey, it's gonna happen to Sloth, not KG today."
Yeah. Well, what I was saying was, and this is one of the cool things about your project that also is a feature shared by Tetra, where the use case is all encompassing. Anybody who's on the blockchain can use the product that you're building to do their transactions, to connect to connect to smart contracts, etc. So it's like you're incentivized to go out into as many communities as possible and try to onboard people in because your product is essentially, you know, protocol agnostic, right? Anybody who's
Exactly.
interacting on the blockchain can get a benefit from from the stuff that you're building, which is awesome. And that's like also something that Tetra shares too, where anybody who has any kind of protocols can create scripts to connect the stuff within their protocol, but also outside of things too. And I think it's really great that I think that's really great from a marketing perspective for Pulsechain because you're personally incentivized to go out into other communities because it's more market share for you guys, but also because you're like a Pulsechain native kind of thing that's bringing people, bringing awareness from outside of the Pulsechain system into Pulsechain automatically. Because it's going to be hard to talk about internet money if you're going through the history of it without talking about Pulsechain, you know?
Yes to all of the above. And also, when somebody downloads the wallet, they're natively connected to Pulsechain. So if they want to switch onto any other blockchain, just like on or MetaMask, you have to notice you're on Ethereum. You can't not notice it. Same thing.
Yeah.
So we'll be introducing people there, and yeah, I like that about our protocol too, is that we are agnostic. And we're talking about tokens. You don't want to buy another token. You don't have to. The
Yeah.
tokens, they can just be perceived as an optional feature. And you as the user could just use the wallet because you appreciate that your data is not being collected, and you appreciate a wallet that's security conscious, and you appreciate a
Mhm.
wallet that holds the core ethos of DeFi in everything it does. So
Yeah.
tokens,
And
additional feature.
yeah, well, I think for you guys, like, and we're seeing this kind of trend on Pulsechain right now, where they're revenue generating platforms who are giving the revenue to the community through their token, right? And like, so you want to actually have a token because it's a receipt for people who have bought into the system, and it's a
Exactly.
receipt to be able to actually distribute the revenue from the protocol to the community. And so with these revenue generating platforms like yours, it's perfectly justifiable to have a token because that's exactly how you connect the protocol to the end user and
Mhm.
distribute that income or that cash flow to the people who are invested in it.
Exactly. And so some people, they've asked why not just pay to who uses the wallet? And it's like that's an interesting idea, and we went down that rabbit
Mhm.
hole. But if this wallet is as successful as we believe it's going to be, well, that just means that people who adopted it early just get diluted over time. Because
Yeah.
then if more and more people start using it, well, then you're sharing your revenue, then you're not going to be encouraged to talk about it because you want more of the revenue. So then it becomes a
Yeah.
self-defeating system.
Yeah, and you want to reward people who supported you early. Like the people who are early supporters who bought into it with money by putting their ETH, Pulse Chain, Hex, whatever into the liquidity pool to back time. Those people deserve to get disproportionate benefit based on how early and how much they supported the ecosystem as a whole. And you would lose
Exactly.
a lot of that if you just gave it to everybody, every Jane and Joe who downloaded the wallet and had like a zero balance seed phrase on it.
Exactly. It's like, okay, so the people who came in when it was easy and no risk get the same rewards as the people who were there when it was hard and all the risk existed. It's just
Exactly.
uh, I guess that's a capitalist versus socialist argument there.
Yeah, we're capitalists here in crypto. Right? We're none of those, we're not socialists over here, guys.
Nah, crypto's pretty capitalistic. I'll give it that.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I know you're telling me you have some new stuff in the pipeline for the wallet, new features. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the most immediate thing that we are working on as the wallet is we're in our final stages of what has been our public beta. We've been in public beta for about a year now, which has been awesome because when you're out there talking about, oh, this thing's battle tested, what does that mean? Well, here we've had thousands of people for the last year using this thing in countries all over the world, on phones all over the world, on cellular and Wi-Fi signals all over the world, on all different chains. So we've been building and refining, and we're in the final stages of that public beta. And we believe we're about 3 to 4 weeks out from submitting for our second security audit. First one, again, you can see on our website. And that will take us into what we're calling V1. We've already actually pushed out to the public like 120 builds. So it's not like, oh, this is the first version. It's just the first non-beta version. And one of the big things that's holding us back from that, and it's actively being worked on, is so right now, when you go into our wallet and you do an in-app swap, we only support Uni V2 style dexes. So for example, on Pulsechain, that is just PulseX V1 and V2. Well, we have added smart contract support for Uni V3, which now on Pulsechain, you'll have access to the forked Uni V3 liquidity. We've also added access or support for FUX. So you'll be able to access FUX within the wallet, and also Pateus. So when you go to do a swap within the Internetmoney wallet, what you're going to see is PulseX V1 and V2, Pateus, Uni V3, FUX, and then actually the other forked Uni V2 style dexes. So forked Uni V2, forked Sushi Swap. So you're going to see like 8 to 10 dexes in this list. And then at the very top, and Pateus isn't a dex, it's an aggregator. Yeah. But at the top of the list, you're going to see recommended option, and that's the option that gives you the most coins or tokens on the end of your trade. So when we say that the Internetmoney wallet is the best place to swap, we mean that because every available place to swap is represented in the app. And also with 9mm, the Uni V3 fork coming out, that'll be supported. 9-inch, the Uni V2 fork, that'll be supported. I heard Tetra is actually coming out with an aggregator. I heard talks of another aggregator will support all those. So really, when you go to the Internetmoney wallet to swap, everybody that's giving support for liquidity, we're working on putting it in there. And the beautiful thing is time holders are getting paid every time somebody uses the best place to swap on Pulsechain.
No, it's almost like a DEX aggregator in of itself. Not exactly, like the tech isn't the same, but essentially it's like the value prop of it is similar. It's like you're just going to the place where you're getting the best order execution, and it's all in app.
So 2 points there. Yes, all in app on Android, iOS, and Chrome. Beautiful. But also, when we've talked about this has actually got us thinking about like, okay, coming up with our own terms, I guess. So we are a DEX aggregator. Okay. So is Pateus.
Yeah.
But we're not the same. So there's 2 types of DEX aggregator, at least 2 types. There might be more, but at least. Type 1 is, like you said, we show you all the quotes. That way you're getting the best order execution. But what we're calling the distinction we've made between our style DEX aggregator and like Pateus or Matcha or 1-inch is they have a feature called atomic swapping. So that's the distinction that we've made internally is like they're all DEX aggregators, but some of them have atomic swaps, which is taking a single trade and splitting it up across multiple dexes. So, hey, if that sticks out there and you want to give the Internetmoney credit for coming up, Internetmoney guys credit for atomic swap feature, naming that, take it. We'll take it.
I like it, man. That's pretty cool. You know what else would be cool? And then not to just like add things to your plate or whatever.
Do it.
But it would be cool if you could open and close liquidity positions straight in the app as well. With like the V3, with the V3 dexes that we're about to get, like 9mm, and I know Freedom Swap is working on one too. it would be cool if you could just in the app just automatically like open close positions and stuff like that.
That is also on the roadmap. It's a little behind. So like NFT support and in-app bridging, they take priority over the liquidity. But here's another bullish thing for time holders. Every feature that we add like that's like this, like sending and receiving. Okay, like that's you can't monetize that. You have to give people access to their money. It's end of story.
Yeah.
But as far as like these extra things you can do with your money, like swapping, bridging, liquidity positions, we want to monetize that and create that as additional dividends for time holders.
Yep.
So we want it to be a multiple stream of income, right? So whether someone's bridging, selling their NFTs, entering or exiting a liquidity position, that could be a revenue source for time holders. So short answer, yes, that will eventually be there.
Yeah. And I imagine that any other extra things on top of any extra features added on top of the wallet would probably that generate fees would probably be going to the time holders as well.
Yes, absolutely. We want to make it to where time holders get paid from all different angles. And even here, if I could share a idea of philosophy with you. So we've also believed that we've created what we call the first decentralized company with time, not the wallet itself, with the token time. Why? Here's an immutable smart contract with no admin keys that anybody, any protocol can point revenue towards. Now, why would somebody want to do that? Well, the hardest thing for any crypto project is building community, getting users. So as we become more popular and bigger, people will be incentivized to have access to our community by pointing their revenue to the time contract, which is great because as that happens and as that splinters off, it's not just reliant on revenue from the wallet. It becomes the multiple streams of passive income, and it is decentralized. So if any one aspect of it goes down, well, that income is still coming in. So that's the long-term vision with time.
No, that's pretty cool. I think that's a very laudable goal for the stuff that you're building, and a good service for anybody who wants to get in early to it, to get your little bit of share, get your share of time, and get your share of the fees, because obviously it's deflationary, so it's getting harder and harder to get it over time.
Exactly.
No pun intended.
Pun intended. That's why we use time. It's it also breaks down to the internet money ecosystem, but it's time. Time is the most valuable asset in the world.
This one from Rajan. He says, "I am wallet is dope. Time is dope. I've had it for months or so, and I love seeing my pulse increase with time."
Nice. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's awesome. Well, you also said you're looking to restart your referral program, right?
Correct. Yeah. So for those that don't know, when we're in the early stages of public beta, we actually had 2 rounds of our referral program. And the way that it worked at the time, because Pulsechain wasn't out yet, was we used our token IM on BSC. And so when somebody would download the wallet, they would get free IM and free BNB. And if you referred somebody to the wallet, you would also get free IM and free BNB, but the person you referred would get a 20% bonus. So this was really cool because we created the first smart contract oriented crypto referral program. Now we went through 2 rounds. It got crazy for those that remember the story. It was a really cool time. Oh, what's up, Too Spooky?
Yeah, Too Spooky. Thank you for the $20 super chat, man. It says bullish on how sleek Pulse OGs are going to look in the internet money wallet. I'm excited for that too.
Me too. I meant it on the last day. I was happy to support.
Hey, he got in. I saw you got a good one. It was like kind of like the same like color scheme as your guys' branding, right?
Yeah, it was the gold skin and the black, and I was like, again, we want to support people who are building cool things. So it was cool to mint and be a part of that. And that's the thing we do, right? Is we don't. Yeah, there he is, the gold skin. Let's go, Hexakin, Hexa skin.
Yeah.
So we don't shill any one product other than our own, but it's like I was telling you in the green room, if we're in the African safari, There's all these different animals out there trying to eat each other. We're the watering hole where no animals are attacking each other, right? We are the product for everybody. I was saying something else. I completely lost my train of thought.
Referral program.
Referral program. Thank you. Okay. Long story short, in the referral program, we paused it. We did a lot of great testing, and the vision for the referral program is any project that has a token can, basically donate, if you will. It's mutually beneficial because they'll get exposure, but donate their token to this referral program so that as people refer to the wallet, they will get these tokens. And here's the crazy thing, just crazy thing. Okay. It almost sounds unreal. It's technically possible. It is. No, there's no arguing it, but what sounds unreal. Could you imagine downloading a wallet and getting $100 without having to does that even sound like it's a real thing? No.
I sure as hell hope it does. It becomes real.
Well, here's why it's real. Let's say we have 20 different projects. There's more than 20 projects on Pulsechain right now. So let's say 20 of those projects opt in and say, hey, we're going to donate X amount of tokens, or contribute rather, X amount of tokens to the referral program. Each user that downloads it, can get $5 of our token. That means someone downloads the wallet or you refer somebody, there's $100 in the form of 20 different tokens right then and there. So yes, of course, we'd have to build up to it, but it's like, okay,
it's possible. It makes sense.
It does. And even with 2 tokens, every referral, you get $10. I mean, in crypto, and if you believe in the asset, you could hold it. It could do X's. I mean, it's crazy.
What would somebody have to do? Because obviously the way people could game it is just using a referral code and then just drumming up a bunch of wallets and draining the supply.
So here's what our testing yielded us. In the very first test, we did nothing. This is absolutely there was no barrier to entry. Okay. Well, that obviously reared its head really quick. We got we got click farmed by there was this call group on Telegram, and we got click farmed. It's okay. Nobody was hurt or anything. Nothing was, we turned it off. Right. Okay. So then we did some building, and then we went with, and this was completely optional. You did not have to do it to use the wallet. This was only if you wanted to participate in the referral program. You had to use your mobile phone number to get an SMS verification code, and then it took a snapshot of your IP and then encrypted it on our server. So we never actually knew the IP, but it was just if somebody tried to go again on the referral program and do that, okay, well, that kind of worked. But then somebody came up with this script that then minted them a bunch of phone numbers, VPN'd, and then, okay, so they got it that way. And then now the reason why we paused it is because it was taking a lot of our focus, but it's we were already very comfortable, even as a completely optional feature, doing phone numbers and encrypted IPs. We just didn't feel comfortable with it. And so it's it sent us back to the drawing board, because it's okay, the ultimate way to make sure that nobody can game it is you do full on KYC.
Yeah. And
I don't even want to be in that industry. I don't want to KYC anybody. So we're inventing something there. There's nothing to model it off of over here that says, oh, hey, it's working over here. No one else is doing it. So we're inventing it. And that's been the tricky part, is how can we do it without even optional data collection? How can we do it with, smart contracts? How is that? Yeah. And so that's why I took some time on the shelf.
Yeah. No. So it sounds like you guys are in the problem solving stage where you're trying to still work out exactly how it's going to work.
Yes. Yeah. Long story short, that's what it boils down to, because.
Well, I mean, that's a big problem to solve. How can you prevent malicious draining of funds for a referral program, but also be completely decentralized? I'm interested to see what solution you guys come up with.
So, we're thinking of things like, okay, maybe we'll do a drip system where okay, you earn your rewards the moment you refer, but maybe you can only claim tiny bits of it over the course of 30 days or something so we're thinking that maybe it's watch a video. I don't know. Or maybe it's this whole combination of things that even if someone's out there click farming, it becomes kind of cumbersome to where it's not worth their time or something.
Yeah.
So more testing and more experimenting is to unfold.
Well, I'm looking forward to whatever you guys come out. And I will be shilling that referral link whenever we're able to get it, man. I want that $100 for everybody that signs up.
Dude, I want that to be, I want people like you to have that, because that benefits the wallet, right? Because then it incentivizes people to talk about it for more reasons than just being a great product. But also it gets projects on board with the wallet too, because of course they would onboard to the wallet that has their token preloaded with the logo, with price tracking. And if somebody downloads it, they earn it. It starts them. So I think it's really beneficial for the entire ecosystem. So, hey, GigaBrain developers out there, we're open. Ideas for decentralized referral programs. We've got a lot of great ideas that we're holding close to the vest for, competitive reasons, I suppose. But it's we will figure it out. I am confident in that.
That makes sense. Too Spooky had a comment, little compliment. He said his wallets froze again yesterday, and IM saved me for the third time. Was able to get into another token before others catch on to it. Thanks again for the based wallet, KG.
Oh,
shout out!
Glad to hear it, bro. Good endorsement. Yeah. Thanks, Too Spooky.
Wait, what? I'm not sure. What does he mean by his wallets froze? I'm not sure what that means.
I don't either. I just took it as another wallet wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah. And he says, I am over MetaMask every single time. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. You've gotten some love from the Tang Gang, man. I know I've been in some of their spaces, and I know some of them are talking about like, when they onboard new people, like they just go straight to Internet Money.
I mean, I appreciate the Tang Gang community, talking about us onboarding into Internet Money. That's another reason why, like, hey, look, you're out there supporting us. I mean, hey, I know my contribution of one NFT is not going to change the world, but hey, I took part, right? We're playing, we're eating dinner at each other's houses, I guess, so to speak, in that respect. But yeah, we also, this is another great thing that we've done with the wallet that's empowered communities to a degree is, we uploaded the HOA logo, right? And it has price tracking. And so it's like, it makes, when people can see a logo and it has a price in a wallet, the asset feels more real. When you're on MetaMask and you have a Jazzicon and just digits on a screen, it's like,
there's a question mark or whatever it is.
Exactly. It doesn't feel real. So yeah.
And it's from a securities perspective, it's better because every scam and every legit thing all looks the same when their logos aren't up there. So like you really got to double check the contract address and make sure you're doing the right thing with the right token. So like, supporting logos, I think is a very underrated feature that I'm glad you guys are doing. And, it's great to see so many of the stuff that I like, just the logos just pop on right on up there.
And if you are not seeing a logo in there of something you like, we are not singling people out. If communities, okay, look, if you're a known scam, like if your project has rug pulled and you're a known scam, okay, like we're probably not going to put you in the wallet. But we're not being biased. It's I don't care if your community is 10 people or 10,000 people. Like we want, and it also becomes a service, right? Because we can share this logo compilation that we've come up with.
Awesome. We got a little extra info from Toos. He says transactions were stuck and he couldn't change the nonce and up the gas, but IM can do it. So hey, shout out! You guys got better I'm trying to say unstucking transactions, but getting through stuck transactions. That's awesome.
I haven't experienced that issue in our wallet where you have the whole nonce issue on MetaMask that has not happened to me on our wallet yet. So I'm not saying it will never happen. I'm just saying it has not happened to me yet. And I use our wallet every day more than anybody else could possibly use it because I test every tiny little feature every time it comes out.
Right. We had a question from earlier on the stream, and I just wanted to make sure we get to it because they've waited patiently. But they said they have a question about Hex. Is there a DEX you can do V3 LP with Hex on now for swap? swap only. Basically, yeah. So no V3 decks now, but there are some in the pipeline. The two that I know of, 9mm, which is rumored is around the corner. It's in the 2 weeks phase, which Deva has overperformed or over delivered his promises. So hopefully we can get that in the next 2 weeks. And then I know Freedom Swap, which is what Rags to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat are working on. Their DEX is going to be V3 as well. So soon you'll have V3 support on Pulsechain.
Oh wow, okay, all right. Didn't know about that update. That's a cool update.
Yeah, you get more wallets to add into your in-app swap, your aggregator, your atomic swap aggregator.
No. See, they 1 inch is the atomic swap.
Oh, sorry.
yeah. It's all right. Hey, new terms. We're out there. We're coining things.
We're gonna get it. The language is gonna come. Oh man. And then Frank has a good question. He's like, can you put a link in the chat for the best tutorial for the wallet? So where can I find the best tutorial?
So our YouTube channel, just at InternetmoneyIO, we don't have one single codified tutorial for the whole wallet, but we've just started the process, but we're uploading, individual tutorials for how do I do this? How do I do that? So yeah, over time. And if you need any direct, immediate help, our Telegram is actually the best place for that. I see some of our admins in the chat here. So shout out to the Internet Money admins, but we have admins from all over the world. So anytime you pop into the Telegram chat, which is just at InternetmoneyIO on Telegram, you'll get some kind of admin support. And internetmoney.io, that's all of our social links and everything right there.
Perfect, man. Well, hey, we've been going for a solid hour and 15 minutes, man. I think this has been a highly successful stream. I had a great time so far. How about you, man?
I completely agree. I think we hit a lot of really great points about the wallet, about security, about philosophy. And I hope that if you just tuned in, please give this a rewatch. I think that CryptoSloth, man, you're a very aware individual and you have a great perspective. So you're one of my favorite streamers to watch out there.
I appreciate that, man. That your support and kind words mean a lot, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
I think I've covered all the points. InternetMoney.io, the native Pulsechain wallet, replacement for MetaMask, no data collection, secure DeFi wallet, 100% of revenue back to time holders. Pulsechain for the win.
Tetra scripts incoming.
the sloth strategy.
Script,
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, and just, as we're talking about Tetra again, Red Swirl pops on and what's up, buddy? All right, everybody. Well, KG, my man, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on. This was a way overdue, but I'm glad we finally did it. Tell everybody where they can find you, man. How can they support you?
InternetMoney.io, best place to go. Check out the new site, just launched, totally DeFi. Got a lot of really cool animations there from a local community artist. Amazing Aliens is his brand, is one of a kind, really cool. InternetMoney.io. All of our socials are down there at the bottom, like on all websites. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me through the Internet Money socials. So, but InternetMoney.io, that's the place.
Yep. Everybody go make sure you download the wallet, try it out. You don't have to put any money on it. Just click around, feel it out, see how it works out for you. I've loved using it personally. I'm going to keep using it. But when the referral link comes out, use my referral link. So just re-download it again, but I don't want you guys to wait until it comes out because these guys are solid.
There'll be plenty more people to onboard. We're just getting started.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all, man. But yeah, for me, like you guys obviously know where to find me because you're on my channel, Sloth Crypto 3 on Twitter. And I always look at go the wrong way whenever I try to point things. I try to do it, and every single time I go the wrong way. CryptoSloth.info for some more personally tailored content, get stuff directly to your inbox, newsletter, etc., etc. All right, KG, brother, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to talking to you in the future. Maybe when some of these updates roll around, we'll bring you back on and we'll go through it, talk a little bit more about what's going on. But until then, thanks for coming on, everybody in the chat. As always, I greatly appreciate your support and viewership, and you will see me around the interweb. Peace out.
Peace.